So it seems like Google finally learned from their mistakes and decided to do what we hoped they would do for a long time. And that is to aggressively market the Pixel phones, but also to offer great trade-in deals and incentives. And not just from the get-go. This has been something that's been ongoing since the phone has come out. And now I just made a video the other day talking about how they're going to have some great sales for Black Friday the entire week, starting on the 17th, $100 off the Pixel 7, bringing it down to $499, which is utterly insane. $150 off the Pixel 7 Pro, bringing it down to $749. So I actually had this conversation with some people over the last couple of years. Every time the phone would launch, I was like, please have some good trade-in deals. Have some good trade-in deals. That's the only way you're going to move a lot of this stuff. Because when it comes to the Pixel phones, Pixel enthusiasts, Pixel fans like me and probably you watching this video, well, we were probably going to buy one. But the thing is that Google really only had, what, maybe 3% of the market share back then before the Pixel 6 came out. Luckily, the Pixel 6 sold pretty well. People kind of got on board with it. They were like, hey, we like this new design, this 50 megapixel camera. That sounds pretty cool. Lots of cool things. And then the Pixel 7 just came along and was the icing on the cake, and it polished pretty much all the rough edges that the Pixel 6 brought to the table last year. So it's been very refreshing to see that they've come out and they've been actively, marketing them, which that was a big thing. The Pixel 6 had the largest marketing budget that Google has ever done for their phones. And it was very evident. I think they even had a Super Bowl ad. But there was a lot of different advertising. You could see them on signs. You saw them on walkways. They're getting people involved, especially with like players, NBA players, and lots of really grassroots level stuff to try and get the word out there and to get more exposure. And I think that that's good. And I'm glad to see that following on with the Pixel 7. Of course, the Pixel 7, the price is already great. And that was one of the hurdles to get people into a Pixel in the first place. Because I really didn't like the pricing with like the Pixel 4. And then it was what, like $799, I think $899. Which back then the prices were a little bit different. The iPhone had just got to that $1,000 mark once we got the iPhone 10. So Android was trying to catch up. But it just really didn't feel like the Pixels to me were worth that much money. I wasn't that big of a fan back then, but for what they brought to the table, I'd rather got a Samsung. And also because they had a lot better financing, they had a lot better specials. I could trade in my old one and basically get a new one for effectively free. So then they had the backstep with the Pixel 5, kind of a mid-tier phone that people weren't really crazy or savvy about, which actually turned out to be a pretty good phone, surprisingly. So everything is kind of culminated into this nice, good package. You've got a great phone with the Pixel 7, the Pixel 7 Pro. I think that they're top notch. I really like what they've done here, and I think that it's a good phone for a lot of people. And I still have some folks who are BlackBerry fans out there who watch my videos, which is great, and I love my BlackBerry fans as much as I love my BlackBerry phones. I had one that asked me the other day, hey, what would be the phone to switch over to? And my answer is the Pixel 7, just because it offers so much. It offers so much. At $499, you get a great camera experience, you get a nice screen, you get a big screen, you get a pretty good battery experience, you get the 90 hertz refresh rate, 5 years of security patches, the Titan M2 chip in there. There's a lot of stuff going on with this phone that make it a viable alternative for a lot of people, and I like to look at things from a value perspective. It's not like, hey, go buy the $1,000 phone. Very few people need a $1,000 phone, especially whenever there's a lot of other phones that bring you the same level of value and quality and 99% of the same experience. I get some folks who are like, oh, it's not as fast as the S22 Ultra. It's not designed to be. But at the same point in time, if you go and do anything on a day-to-day, from my experience, it feels the same. And that's the great thing. And that was something that they demonstrated really well with the Pixel 5 with the Snapdragon 765. It still ran pretty darn well. And it was funny because when Samsung got caught with their throttling gate this last go-around, they were throttling their chipset down to as low as or lower than a Snapdragon 765, and nobody was the wiser. So there's a lot of illusion that goes into this. You don't have to have a 4 gigahertz processor in your phone, which we don't have anything close to that. But even talking about just over 3 gigahertz for a primary core, that's great with like the S22 Ultra. I think it's just over 3 gigahertz. But the Tensor 2 is approaching 3 gigahertz, but it has 2 primary cores in it. And a lot of people overlook that. That's a lot of horsepower under the hood to get your phone going. And you can play games on here. You can do all your stuff. There's nothing in this experience that feels slow or clunky or laggy or anything like that. So I think Google's done a very good job bringing up the hardware, not trying to compete with the Benjamins, doing their own thing, and making them marketable. That was the biggest problem for a long time, was marketability, and now they're doing a really good job permeating the market, getting the prices right, offering good trade-in deals, offering incentives. It's been going on basically in a lot of ways since the phone came out, and now we're going to get into this Black Friday pricing, which is just going to be even more icing on the cake, because at $499 there is absolutely nothing that comes close to touching this and what it brings to the table. So that's all I got in this video. What do you think? Do you think Google's doing a good job with the marketing? Do you think they're doing a good job with the pricing? I think it's hard not to argue that, but I did have somebody in the comments who said, hey, there's going to be a $100 price drop on the Pixel 7 and $150 on the Pixel 7 Pro. They said that's not enough. How much do you think they need to sell these things for? I mean, $499 when the competition is $799. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer there. So what do you think? Sound off in the comments. We'll talk about it. And so that's all I got. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.